All right. Hello, Kristen. How are
Hello,
you?
Jeremy. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing quite well. Thank you for asking. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
So, we've known each other for quite a long time.
Yeah,
I've always enjoyed partnering with you in any and every different facet. Uh, you know what you want, you're direct, you are approachable, and you have always had such a great presence. I know who I'm speaking with. Why don't you tell our listeners of OhHello, who are you? Why are you here?
sure. Well, my name is Kristen Faust. And yes, Jeremy, we've known each other for about 12 years now when we helped build the new programmatic space. And so that's where our paths have crossed, has been more in my agency life. Prior to that, I was at the Tribune, at National Geographic, and America Online, where I helped build out the consumer internet, which was super fun. So those were really my formative years. But personally, I am very sporty. I love my Chicago sports teams. I love to travel. In fact, in about 5 hours, I'm on a flight to London for a few days of fun. But
Amazing.
I also, this past year, spent 2 weeks on safari in Africa. I am a very lucky person. I have had a lot of opportunities. Life is not always easy, but overall, I can say I'm blessed. I have great friends and a wonderful family, and that's me. I'm
I
very
love
direct.
very direct. I love the attitude. You got to have fun with life, and you absolutely have traveled to many cool places. How would because of all those cool places that you've traveled, because of going on an African safari, uh, jet setting from Chicago to London in a few hours for the weekend. How would you characterize how those travels have made you who you are today
Sure.
and have provided you with the skill set that you're going to be sharing with the OhHello community?
Sure. I think over a lot of things that you learn when you travel, especially if you travel to second and third world countries, is a real deep appreciation for everything that you have overall. Like here in the US, I know sometimes people get really down on it, but we are pretty darn lucky to be where we're at. It's not perfect. As a good friend of mine always says, democracy is not perfect, but we really live in a country of great blessings. It also is very important to see how other people live and also experience their joy and their beauty and everything else. And but to really experience just how lucky we are is I think very important. And then just again, how much of a new country we are. Like I'm going to London and that they've been around a lot longer than we have. And
We
then when
do.
I was in Africa, I mean the animals and everything else. But I was talking with a lot of people who have never seen the beauty of their own country. So again, very privileged, very lucky, sense of adventure and wanderlust, and a whole bunch of gratitude comes from it, as well as
Well,
empathy.
well, I'm a huge proponent and fan of talking about empathy. I love that you just mentioned that. But I heard you say wanderlust, which is important because you want to you, the listener, you, Kristen, myself, the person speaking, being able to look at different situations with openness and
Hmm.
kindness and different experiences is such a value. It's such a unique component of life.
Hmm.
What excites you about mentorship? What excites you about going to having new relationships, fostering different friendships, meeting different people in the workplace, where as a mentor, as someone who's well respected in our community, where you're going to have an opportunity to be a mentor. Like what
Hmm.
excites you about that, and what would you tell your 25-year-old self?
Sure. Well, first, what excites me about it is I love meeting new people. Again, when I'm traveling, especially if I'm traveling alone and I'm sitting at a bar, I will start talking to someone. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. And so it really helps you expand and expand your what you see in life, like how other people see things and expand your perspective. That's what I'm looking for. And I think that um, even though, I am not a president of a company, I've had a lot of different life experiences. My career has not been linear. And I think if someone's looking for that, I can be helpful, or at least I can be a sounding board as other mentors or friends that I have been lucky to have as well. And what I tell my 25-year-old self is, explore, breathe. Not every decision is permanent. I used to go back and forth and really stress about what decision to make. And an old boss of mine said, he's like, nothing's permanent. You can usually, most things are not permanent, but you can usually pivot and do so. So yeah, that's an important lesson.
That's a great lesson about permanency and being able just to pivot and change and evolve as
Hmm.
you, because very few things in life are truly linear besides
Yeah.
from birth to death. We
Yeah.
know that that's linear, not to be
Right.
morbid, but
It's true.
outside of that, careers are not linear. It's
Hmm.
not what you learn about when you're in school, so to speak. Especially for those of us in tech, in software, in marketing, in advertising, in media. You had mentioned a mentor. Who are some
Hmm.
mentors that have had a profound impact on you, Kristen?
Sure. First of all, my father. And he's still around and healthy, and
Awesome.
he has always been my number one go-to person for advice. When something bad has happened, like, he's the comforter, but he also can help me talk through, what's going on, and how to be a good boss, and how to, he's like, you want a boss that you'll go through brick walls for, and it's pretty easy to find bosses that you may not want to do that, and it's key to like find ones that will, and you want your own people to also have that feeling about you. So my dad, my sister is another person who can give blunt honesty, whereas other people may not. But your family always will, and it's also good advice. Couple of other former bosses have really provided more directional, like in the moment questions I've had about how to position something, um, have been key. So some former bosses
And
also have
anyone that
been
you want
really
to give a shout out to? Any former
sure.
bosses?
My old former boss, Allison Shawley, has always been really someone I can talk to. Actually, my most recent boss, Paul DeJarnette, has been, especially in
I
key
know Paul.
moments. I've given him calls and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? So again,
Awesome.
it's finding people, and it's colleagues. I wouldn't say I actually had formal mentorship, and sometimes I regret that, but other times you can figure it out.
Well said with figuring it out. Being a mentor, being part of the OhHello community, as you know, you're going to have the opportunity to give back, to
Hmm.
figure it out, to be able to
Hmm.
say, hey, I felt a sense of altruism by helping this person. I'm going to take some of the revenue and I'm going to donate it towards a charity. And so, as you
Hmm.
know, we are integrated into dozens of different charities in the US
Yeah.
and hundreds globally. What is one that's near and dear to Kristen Faust's heart?
One of the ones that you have there is the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's. A very dear friend of mine has early stage Parkinson's, and she is a real trooper. And luckily, right now, it's manageable and everything else. But what I've learned from her is just all the fascinating research that they've been able to fund, and I'm sure all the other charities do a really good job, but they really do, and so that's one of the ones that's close to my heart. So
Awesome. Well, I know that you have a flight in a few hours from now. You have to get going. We appreciate you, Kristen. Thank you,
thank you.
everybody, for listening. Excited to have you as part of the Oh Hello
Me too.
community, and enjoy the trip, my friend.
Thank you, Jeremy. I can't wait to see how this goes.
Thank you, Kristen. Bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thanks, everybody.